Tar Heels, baby! Hey, what's good? It's Ghiman Mckinney, your boy. Welcome to the Juice Alert. I'm back at y'all with another video for y'all. Y'all can call me Juice or G-Man. Real name is Ghiman, G-H-I-M-A-N. Be sure to hit that like button right now. Subscribe to my channel if you're new. I do post a ton of great sports videos and content. I really want this channel to grow. But guys, we're going to talk about March Madness today. Guys, I'm really excited for March Madness. You know, I'm a Tar Heels fan. You know, we're a 1 seed. Ooh, I'm turned. But, you know, we got to get right into it. I'm going to give y'all predictions on who I personally think, and I was trying to be really realistic, guys. I really tried to be realistic and, you know, actually pick who I think really is going to win March Madness. This was no bias intended into it. So, you know, this is what I think. Now, last year I picked Michigan State to beat Arizona in the NCAA Tournament, you know, final. And that didn't go so well. So we'll see how this goes. Hopefully it goes better. I'm just going to go over who's going to make the Sweet 16 and go straight from there all the way to who's going to win the national title. Just due to the fact that, you know, it takes a lot of time for me to break down all these other teams and things like that. But, you know, if you have questions about other teams, you know, other sleepers, just leave them in the comment section. I'll be happy to answer them for you. But my Sweet 16 teams, the teams I think will make the Sweet 16 are Texas Tech, you know, Michigan State. I do think they'll beat Louisville in the round of 32. The UNC Tar Heels, my UNC Tar Heels, my team. Florida State, Gonzaga. Florida State's going to beat Marquette in the round of 32. Gonzaga is going to beat Syracuse. Might be a tough game, but I can see Gonzaga winning. Duke is in the Sweet 16. Auburn, I think, will make the Sweet 16. Michigan is going to make the Sweet 16. Auburn is going to beat Kansas. Michigan will beat whoever they beat in round 32. Belmont. Now, Belmont, they have to play a win to get in game. I think they will beat Temple in that game to get in. They also will play Maryland in the first round. You know, now Maryland is a decent team. You know, they're a 6 seed, and Belmont's an 11 seed. Maryland should win that game. I have a weird feeling that Belmont is going to win that game, you know, versus Maryland. I do think that Belmont will move on to beat LSU, another overrated team in the round of 32. So I think they'll do that. I think Iowa State is in the Sweet 16. I think Kentucky's going to be in the Sweet 16. I think Wisconsin will beat Kansas State and insert themselves to the Sweet 16. Tennessee, Virginia Tech, Villanova. You know, I have them upsetting Purdue in the tournament. They're going to look to play their best basketball. You know, they're the defending national champs. I think Jay Wright's going to have them playing some really good basketball. Purdue's record was inflated by a 15-0 record at home. The rest of the games that they played away, they were 6-9. So away from Purdue, away from home, Purdue was 6-9 on the year. I think that would be key. You know, and also Virginia is my final team that I think will make the Sweet 16. So now, let's dive into the Sweet 16 actual matchups, who I think will move on and things like that. First game up, Duke versus Virginia Tech. I have Duke winning that game. The only reason Virginia Tech beat Duke the first time they faced them was because Zion Williamson was out. I think Zion Williamson is a huge difference. You know, he's the best player in college basketball. I do think the Virginia Tech is very overrated. I think the only team that they've beaten that's great besides Duke without Zion is Purdue. Every other elite team they've lost to, I got Duke moving on. Michigan State versus Belmont. I think Belmont catches a loss here. Michigan State clearly the more talented team. They just won the Big Ten tournament. I think they're going to roll in this game. You know, I just think the Belmont's magic is coming to an end. It was a risk to pick them to get this far anyway. Next up, Gonzaga versus Florida State. I think Florida State's going to win this game. Listen, people will say, "Oh, but Gonzaga, they're so dominant. Only 3 losses on the." But we only lost 3 games all year, man. What you talking about, man? What? Only 3 losses. Yeah. Well, guess what? I'm not sold on Gonzaga. I think Florida State's going to win. Florida State is the better team flat out. I'm going to say it right now. They have much better wins, and they played a much tougher schedule. Gonzaga is not the best team in the NCAA. I don't care what any ESPN ranking has. Gonzaga is 1-2 versus ranked opponents on the year. They've only played 3 ranked opponents. I understand they beat Duke. That was one of the ranked wins they had. That was great, but I just need to see more consistency from Gonzaga. And they also got exposed by St. Mary's the other day, 60-47. So I just think Florida State's being undervalued. I think they're going to pull off the upset. Texas Tech versus Michigan. This was a hard game for me to pick. I went with Texas Tech. You know, they're a top 4 defensive team. Michigan is also a top 4 defensive team. So this will be a very low scoring game. Texas Tech, 138th in scoring offense, but Michigan is 73 spots lower as far as scoring offense goes. So basically, you know, it's going to be a very low-scoring game. Like I said, it's going to be a struggle to score. I went with the team that has the better offense, so I just think Texas Tech is going to win that game. Virginia versus Wisconsin. Virginia wins. I think Virginia is going to win this game. They're the best defensive team in this whole tournament. Wisconsin will not be able to score enough in this game, and I think that Wisconsin's a little bit overrated. And you know, let's be real, guys. You know, Virginia's only lost to 2 great teams. You know, they lost to Duke twice with Zion Williamson. They lost to Florida State, 2 very, very top 10 great teams. Those are the only 3 losses Virginia has all year. Villanova versus Tennessee. I'm gonna have to roll with Tennessee in this game. Tennessee is the better scoring team. They're the better defensive team. They're the better passing team. They have flat out better players too. Villanova's played a lot of close games. They squeak by with a lot of close wins, and will eventually catch up to them. They've also lost to Furman, Georgetown, Penn Quakers. Who are they? I mean, annihilated by Michigan, and then they lost to St. John's. I got to roll with Tennessee in this game. I'm going to pick the better team. UNC, the Tar Heels, my UNC Tar Heels versus Auburn. I think I'm going to have to roll with UNC, my Tar Heels, in this game. Auburn has beaten Tennessee 2 times, which is great, but UNC is just a better team. You know, UNC, after missing out on the ACC title, a chance to win that, I think they're going to be very motivated. And after an early exit last year, I think we're going to be motivated as well. You know, we're the better team. We're the better scoring team, better passing team. Pretty even defensively. Auburn has also lost to Ole Miss twice, Mississippi State, South Carolina. Got blown out by Kentucky the other day. So, you know, UNC is just a better team. They have better talent. They have better athletes. We're going to roll in this game and win. It's going to be a close game, I think, but we'll win. And then Iowa State, the final game, you know, the Sweet 16, Iowa State versus Kentucky. I have Kentucky winning that game. UK is the better team. They have better athletes. I think they'll be motivated after that Tennessee loss. Iowa State lost to West Virginia twice. They lost to West Virginia only once, but they lost to Arizona, lost to Baylor twice, lost to TCU, lost to Kansas State. None of those teams are any good, really, and even if they are good, they're average. You know, they're nowhere near Kentucky's level. Kentucky will roll in this game and win. So on to the Elite 8 now. You got Duke versus Michigan State. I'm looking forward to this game. I mean, Michigan State is one of the most overrated programs in history. Tom Izzo is 1-11 versus Duke in his career. Can he get a win versus Mike Krzyzewski? I'm going to say no. I just don't think that they're going to win this game. Duke is just much more of a talented team to me. Kassan Winston, he's the premier scorer on Michigan State. He's going to have a really, really big game. I think he will have a big game. But I don't think enough other parts around him are going to be able to step up enough. You know, they got Nick Ward. They got Aaron Henry, Xavier Tillman, Mac McQuad. You know, Duke, RJ Barrett, Trey Jones, Zion Williamson will be too much for Michigan State to handle. You know, and how can you trust Michigan State? The last 3 years, they have not even gotten past the second round. Also, Michigan State turns the ball over a lot. I expect a more talented team in Duke to win this Elite 8 matchup. Florida State versus Texas Tech. Florida State is the better team. Once again, I think they will win the game. Texas Tech's record is inflated a little bit by who they played, in my opinion. They're 138th in points per game. You know, like I said, Texas Tech, not a great scoring team. Florida State has enough offense to beat Texas Tech and beat their defense. I don't think Texas Tech's going to do enough to score in this game. Florida State has wins over Virginia. Also beat Duke. They almost beat Duke. They didn't beat Duke. They almost beat Duke. You know, they beat LSU, Purdue, Syracuse, Louisville, and Virginia Tech. Those are all great, great teams. I think Florida State rolls in this game and wins. A very close game. Virginia versus Tennessee, a very, very interesting game. I think Tennessee is a bad matchup for Virginia, honestly. They're not even top 100 in scoring. Virginia is not. Tennessee is top 4 passing team, top 8 scoring team, solid defensively. This will be a good game, I think. I really almost picked Virginia. I really did. But I don't think Virginia can score enough to beat Tennessee. They're not even 100. They're not even in the 100s as far as scoring offense in the nation. Tennessee will do enough versus that number 1 Virginia defense. It will be a close game, and I think also Tennessee is going to be very motivated by that Auburn loss in the SEC title game. North Carolina versus Kentucky. Ooh, hey, Kentucky fans, y'all remember when Luke May sent y'all home a couple years ago?
Looks up, driving in, May for the win. North Carolina with 0.3 seconds to go.
Now, I like to clown UK fans. They're a good team. You know, this is gonna be a good game. I really think so. UK beat UNC 72-80 the last time they played. They out-rebounded UNC, which is very uncharacteristic because UNC is the number 1 rebounding team in the nation statistically. They out-rebounded them by 11, but it's hard to beat a team twice in the same year. And I think because UK beat the UNC Tar Heels in the regular season. I think UNC is going to return the favor and beat them in the NCAA tournament. I think Roy Williams will make a lot of adjustments in that game. The only thing that they really did better than us was rebound that game, or else it would have been a much closer game. We're the better team, through 11 games. That was the 11th game. We were 8-3. Ever since then, we are 17-3. We've probably been the best team since that UK loss. We're a much different team. We're the better scoring team. We're the better passing team. We're the better rebounding team. So I have to go with UNC in this game. I do think Kentucky can make it a game and basically almost win the game. I think it'll be very, very close, but I think UNC barely edges Kentucky in a very close game. That leads us on to the Final Four. So yes, I have Duke and Florida State in the Final Four. I got UNC, my Tar Heels, and Tennessee in the Final Four, okay? Duke versus Florida State. Gonna be a good game in my opinion. And you know what? I started to pick Duke. I really did. I started to pick Duke, but I cannot pick against Florida State. I can't.
Oh, but we got RJ Barrett. We got so much more talent than Florida State, man. What are you talking about, man? What?
Listen, Florida State, I'm very high on them. Duke, they're just a poor perimeter shooting team. I do think that, Florida State, they don't necessarily do anything elite, but they do everything well. If that makes any sense. I think they're a very solid rebounding team. I think they're a very solid shooting team. I think that they're a solid scoring team. Duke has some issues shooting the ball. They have not consistently made shots all year from the perimeter. And Florida State, they gave them a dogfight in Florida State. They honestly should have won the game. Watch the whole game. Florida State should have beaten Duke when they played them in Florida State. Now, they beat them by 10 points, Duke did, in the ACC title game. But it's hard to beat a team 3 times in the same exact year. I think Florida State, 3rd time's a charm. Duke's the better team. They really are. But it's March Madness. You saw Loyola Chicago a couple years ago. They were beating teams left and right. They were nowhere near as talented as those teams. I just think that, Florida State gets Duke in this game. It's going to be a very close game, but I do think Florida State's going to win the game. I just think they are. Let's also not forget, Florida State has beaten Virginia. They've beaten some really, really good teams. Florida State not a bad team at all. UNC versus Tennessee. Now, this game worries me as a Tar Heels fan. It really does. I almost picked Tennessee, but I just can't do it. I think that UNC is the better team. I think that UNC, if they were to play a Tennessee schedule, would have a similar record to them. I think if Tennessee played our schedule, they would not have as good of a record as they have right now. Tennessee's a good team. They really are. Listen, we've beaten Florida State, we've beaten Duke twice, we've beaten Virginia Tech, we've beaten Louisville twice, we've beaten Gonzaga, where everyone says, oh, it's the best team in the nation. Yeah, they're not, okay? We've beaten Syracuse as well. We also beat Florida State 77-59 earlier in the season. I really almost started to pick Tennessee, though. I really did. Tennessee, they can score with us. They can rebound. They're not as good of a rebounding team as us. They're a solid rebounding team. They're the best. They're one of the best passing teams in the NCAA. But when I looked at all the statistics, UNC slightly edged Tennessee in scoring, in passing, in rebounding, all that good stuff. The only thing that really concerns me is our 3-point defense. That's really only the concern with UNC. I think UNC is the better team. I think they have a little bit more NBA talent on that team than Tennessee does. Listen, I think it's going to be a very good game, but I think we ultimately have the better players. We're the better passing team. We're the better scoring team. It's close, but we're still better than Tennessee. I think that UNC, UNC's been a top 3 team to me all year, and we're 17-3 over the past 20 games. No reason we're going to slow down. I have UNC advancing to the national title game. Now, UNC versus Florida State. Now, these two teams met, early in the year. UNC beat Florida State, I believe it was 77-59. Wasn't even close. I do think it's going to be very close this time. It's hard to beat a team twice, but it's been done. I talked about it's hard to beat a team 3 times. If we would have faced them twice, I would have had a little bit more hesitance to say that Florida State's going to win this game. But I don't see it. I think we're going to win the game 79-78. If I had to pick a score, I think it's going to be a very, very close game. But listen, we're the better team. Guys, you want to say, oh, but you're a UNC fan, man, but you're going to pick UNC. Yeah, well, guess what? Last year, I picked Arizona to lose to Michigan State. And So don't tell me that, oh, you pick UNC every year. No, I don't pick UNC every year. I don't. I really don't. You're better than Florida State in every facet of the game, whether it be scoring, whether it be the players. We definitely have better NBA players. Rebounding, passing, shooting. We're better than them in all those areas statistically. The only thing that really concerns me is our defense. We're slightly below Florida State as far as defensive statistics go. I do think that, because we're the better team, we have the better coach. I do think we're going to win the second national title in 3 years. I got UNC ultimately beating Florida State to win the national title. And that is a wrap for this video. That's my predictions for March Madness. Be free to tell me who you think is going to win March Madness, who's going to be in your Final Four. Tell me where I'm right, tell me where I'm wrong. I'm not here for you to agree with me. I'm here to give you my opinion and say what I feel is realistically going to happen. So, like I said, that's a wrap for this video. Appreciate y'all for watching. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. It's been your boy, Ghiman Mckinney, and I'm Ghost, and go Tar Heels, baby!